Hello everyone, FredRex2007 here, once again with another video. Welcome back guys. Today's movie review, I'm going to be showing you guys my thoughts and my opinions, my review of the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie. So yeah, I'm going to tell you my thoughts and my opinion on this movie, tell you how much I enjoyed it, and all that good stuff, so let's get started. The first thing is, I liked it. I just really enjoyed it. I really liked this movie. Guillermo del Toro, Andre Overdahl, you did fantastic. Bringing these iconic characters in these books to life on the big screen. Harold the Scarecrow, the Pale Lady, the Toeless Corpse. Those characters were amazing. You just done a great job. You two guys just did a phenomenal job bringing this movie in the big screen to bring these iconic characters from the books to life in these short stories. It's just an amazing experience with seeing these characters in the big screen. It's just amazing. Like, you guys did a well job. That's what I'm gonna say. You guys did a well job. So yeah, the story so basically the premise, the plot, this movie takes place in the year 1968. It takes place in a small town called Mill Valley, and it focuses on these groups of 17-year-olds that are about my age. A group of kids goes into this haunted house called the Willows house, the Bellows house. So they found where the chamber, where the family locked up their biggest secret, member of the family named Sarah Bellows, because she was basically a different person that everyone around the town thought that she is the one that murdered the children around town back then throughout the years. And they ended up locking her away in this brick room where she was just locked away for years. Until then, they found her room, and they found this book of scary stories that she wrote. So basically, this is where hell breaks loose. Well, heck breaks loose. When basically they took the book and they used it, they read the stories, until then the book starts writing itself. That's basically what all the stuff is about to happen. All of the bad stuff is going to happen in this movie when the story starts writing themselves and they all come alive to attack the kids. And that's a really good plot change for these books. I like the way how Guillermo del Toro and Andre Overdahl brings up this idea. And basically, this is the idea when kids are being attacked by monsters, like in It 2017 and Stranger Things. This movie is familiar to that plot, kids fighting monsters. And yeah, so the thing is, they get attacked by a bully named Tommy Nildner, and when he came back home, he was attacked by his scarecrow in the cornfields named Harold, which is Harold the Scarecrow, one of the most memorable characters in the book series that we all loved. We all do know Harold the Scarecrow, don't we? So yeah, he really hates the Scarecrow, and basically Harold the Scarecrow ended up coming to life to attack him. And that's when the first story righted itself in the book, when the main character, Stella, read the story, when it just writes itself into the pages of the book. So yeah, that's when it all happens. So yeah, Tommy Nildner was killed that night until the next day they found Harold wearing his clothes. So yeah, that's where it all happened. The first story of the attack happened, you know? So anyways, this is when it starts with the main characters. The first main character is Stella. She's the one that loves scary movies. Until then, she met this new kid around town named Ramon that isn't around Mill Valley. When they met him in the drive-thru watching Night of the Living Dead, which I always thought that's really cool because Night of the Living Dead came out around 1968. One of the best movies of that year. And the rest of the kids is Chuck, the one that always loves to make trouble, and he's the funny one. And Uggy, he is the least character that everyone doesn't pay attention of. And he's not much into this movie, but we still need to care for these characters somehow. And the other character is Ruth, Chuck's little sister. that she basically wants to be a movie star. So yeah, when these characters when they end up finding the book, they ending up, being attacked by these stories writing themselves, and it starts the book, like when Stella says, you can't just read the book. The book reads you. Like, it's writing itself, and it's reading you what you're doing, what is going on with, by yourself, and this biggest fear, and your biggest fear, or the story that scares you the most, will come to life, and it will end up killing you. So yeah, that's what happens when you get killed by your own story that you're in real life. Because whatever happens in a book happens in real life. Just don't forget about that. Until then, the second story happens with Uggy when he gets attacked by the toeless corpse. That classic story of the big toe story in the first book. So yeah, he ended up getting dragged away by the toeless corpse, which the toeless corpse zombie was being played by Javier Botet. The same guy that was in the Slender Man movie, and he was the leper in the It 2017 film, and he was the Crooked Man in The Conjuring 2. So he did a pretty good job as the toeless corpse, but unfortunately the toeless corpse didn't have enough screen time. Like, the screen time of the toeless corpse was just like I don't know, 2 minutes? Yeah, that's the screen time of the toeless corpse. When the corpse is looking for her missing toe, and it's pretty creepy. Like, I almost screamed when that scene happened. When Uggy just ended up getting dragged away from the toeless corpse. Until then, the next day, they tried to burn the book, but until then, the book wasn't burnt. It just really freaked out Chuck a lot. Like, when he was like, this is why I don't read books, Until then, the next story happens with Ruth. She ended up getting a bite mark on, a spider bite on her cheek, and she ended up getting baby spiders coming out of her cheek, which is one of those other memorable stories in the books, The Red Spot, of course. So yeah, until then, they're freaking out, and they have to find out what is the secrets is behind Sarah Bellows' backstory back then, of how did she murder these kids, or she wasn't meant to blame. So they went to the insane asylum. Until then, Chuck gets attacked by his dream. That he says he had a dream about this pale lady chasing after him in the red rooms. Until then, the story starts writing itself about Chuck, and he ends up getting chased by the pale lady in the hallways. And that's basically one of my favorite scenes in this whole movie, when Chuck is being chased by the pale lady, that whispers to him, "Run away while you still can." It was freaky. It was so creepy. Until then, Chuck is gone. I miss Chuck already. He was he deserved better. I miss him already. Chuck, why you have to leave us? Until later on that night, Ramon and Stella are the last ones to be the victims of the book. Until then, they're being locked into jail. Until then, the Jangling Man comes from Ramon. So yeah, they end up going all the way to coming back to Sarah Bellows' house to tell her to stop writing these stories for them, so they can stop all this madness. Until then, Ramon is still being chased by the Jangling Man, his worst fear, and Stella is trying to warn the ghost of Sarah Bellows. Sarah Bellows is telling her to stop with all this rage that she is causing and stop the stories in real life. And that's what they did. The stories are now stopped being wrote in real life, and the surviving kids have survived. Stella and Ramon and Ruth. Those were the only ones left until the ending of the movie. They got to find the deepest secrets in the book to bring Chuck and Uggy back. That kind of leaves so I'm guessing that leaves a cliffhanger for the next movie, like for a sequel. So yeah, that was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the movie. It's just a great movie. I love the plot, the characters. I love the way how the movie just takes you back to the old movies back in the 60s and 70s. Because that's basically what it is. The movie takes place back in the 60s. It's such a really good trip. A really great adventure. To those who have read the books back then, I definitely recommend you checking out the Scary Stories movie. I think you'll have a blast watching this movie. It's great. So it's such a great movie to watch with your friends or family. Just saying. The one thing that sucks that the movie's PG-13. Yes, kids has to experience the movie too. It would be a lot better if the movie was rated R for insane jump scares, but whatever. It's PG-13. It is what it is, you know? So yeah, the Scary Stories movie, one of the greatest movies I've ever seen so far throughout 2019. So far. And it's a great movie. I definitely recommend you checking this movie out. It's worth a shot. So, to those who read the books, check out the movie. It's great. I definitely give the Scary Stories movie a solid 8 out of 10. A great movie. Highly recommend you checking this movie out. It's great. So, just go out and see it. Tell me what you think. So yeah, that was the Scary Stories movie. With that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next review. Hopefully, I will get to review Stranger Things 3 whenever I get to that review. And yeah, I'm going to be expecting It Chapter 2 to come out around next month on September 6th. So, hopefully, when I watch that 3-hour-long movie, I will review it. So, just don't count on it, okay? I will see it. So, you'll see. So, hopefully, I will see it. So, anyways, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more future content like this coming out very, very soon if you're interested in any of this madness. So, have a great one, and have a peace out, have a great one, take care.